All right, so I recently read this book, Anything You Want, 40 Lessons for a New Kind of Entrepreneur by Derek Siver, and I loved it so much that I want to share with you today my 5 favorite lessons that are changing the way that I look at life and business. Now, Derek Siver, if you haven't heard of him, was a musician turned entrepreneur, started a business back in 1998 called CD Baby. He scaled that company until 2002 when he sold it for $22 million. Now, that obviously is a feat unto itself, but it's what he did after he sold it and what he did with that $22 million that really drew the headlines. He started a charitable foundation and gave almost all of it away. And since that time, he has written a handful of best-selling books, including Anything You Want. He has done a number of TED Talks that have millions of views. He does great interviews with the likes of Tim Ferriss, and he's got his website at sivers.org that I highly recommend you check out because it's packed full of insights and resources for you. Now, the subtitle of this book might lead you to believe that this book is only for entrepreneurs. No, my friend, this book is packed full of life advice. Let's begin. Lesson number 1. What's your compass? Way too often in life, we don't know why we do what we do. We are influenced by all of the inputs around us, being the friends, the family, what we see on social media, what we read, what we listen to, and so often we find ourselves making decisions or on a path in life that we maybe haven't fully thought through or fully thought out. We make decisions that please other people. Maybe we go to this school or we take this job. And it's not that this is inherently a bad thing, it's just that Derek recommends that you really need to know what your own personal philosophy is. Why are you here on this earth? What is the impact that you are here to make? What are the gifts, skills, talents, and abilities that you should be bringing to the world? And then when you know what that is, when you know what your own personal philosophy is, then it's easier for you to make decisions about what's your compass, what's the direction that you should be headed in. Personally, I'm a big proponent of digging in and discovering what your values are and really clarifying that impact that you're supposed to make in the world, that you believe God's put on your heart. When you have those things, then you can have it as a filter for making decisions and go forward in that as your personal philosophy so that you can understand what your compass is. Lesson number 2, hell yeah or no? A couple of videos ago, we talked about this idea of learning to say no, how that can add capacity in your life, how you can use your values as a filter for decision making to create space. And this is a great addition to that, where Derek says to use this lesson, use this rule if you find yourself scattered, pulled in too many different directions, overcommitted. And this happens to all of us, right? We're just so many things that are drawing for our attention and our time. And what Derek says is to look at a decision, and if you're facing a yes or no decision, he says if something inside you doesn't say, hell yeah, I should go after this, then it's an automatic no. And when you say no to more things in life, it then opens up capacity. And this is the part that I really love. He says you open up capacity because in those rare instances when life comes along and you get one of those opportunities where it's like, hell yeah, I want to pursue this, then you actually have the capacity to go after it. Lesson number 3, you can afford to be generous. Derek says that all great service comes from a place of generosity and abundance. And I absolutely love that. I completely agree with him. If you look at the big picture, we are all here to serve those around us with the gifts we've been given, with the talents that God's given us, with the impact that we want to make. We're here to serve. But if we feel that we have to hold on tightly to the resources that God has given us, if we are operating from a place of lack, then it makes it very difficult to take our eyes off ourselves and our own situations and actually be able to see and acknowledge the needs of others, the needs of the people that are around us. Regardless of what type of business you're in, job you're in, or position you have, you get the opportunity to serve people. And your service gets incrementally better if you can operate from a mindset of generosity. Which leads us right into lesson number 4. Customer service is everything. When I was a teenager, one of the first jobs that I had was at a store where they had a pickup point for the Sears catalog. And so customers would be able to order things from the catalog and then come pick them up at this depot that was inside the store that I worked at. We also dealt with returns. And I remember learning about the return policy. And the basic return policy was if the customer wanted to bring it back, Sears would take it. And I was completely shocked. But this experience really cemented for me right from the very beginning that customer service is everything. There were lifelong customers to the Sears catalog company that had been working with that company and purchasing from them for years and years and years, and they were incredibly loyal. Like literally, it didn't matter how old it was, what condition it was, even if they'd had the original receipt, Sears would take it back. And Derek talks about how he built his company around customer service. And CD Baby was an internet company, but he prided himself on building around customer service that people would actually answer the phone, that you could actually have a conversation with someone and they could help you. And he scaled the company through that, and it set him apart. Lesson number 5. You make your perfect world. Now, this was a great reminder for me because in this chapter, Derek is speaking very specifically to entrepreneurs. He's saying, hey, you know what? Look at what it is that you love. What drains you? What excites you? How can you build the best parts of what you love into your company culture? But I thought, how much more is this applicable to my own daily life? Like, how many things are within your control? I recognize there are so many things that are outside your control, but what's inside your control? Your attitude is inside your control. What you watch, what you listen to, what you read is all inside your control. What you are pushing towards, the goals you set for yourself, that's all within your control. And if you think about it, you can design and take steps towards this perfect world by just making some simple decisions with your inputs and the attitude that you bring to each and every single day. So I know that with some intentionality, you can firmly set yourself along the path towards your own perfect world. Will it be perfect? Absolutely not. Life happens to every single one of us, but imagine how much better it can be when you put some specific things in place to help improve, to help step forward and make the impact that you know you're supposed to make. So I just want to say a thank you to Derek for this absolutely awesome book. It is packed full of insights. You should grab a copy. I highly recommend it. I will see you in the next video.